although we love therapy and it's sacred,
Yeah,
we've also had days when we've wanted to pack it all in.
yeah, absolutely.
We can both admit to that.
Yeah, maybe quite a few days, especially at the beginning. I'm just having a
Oh
flashback
yeah.
of all the times we were messaging each other. It's like now we message each other every now and then, or it's about like
Yeah.
together before. It was like SOS, please help. Why are we doing this? In those early days.
Do you know, it's making me think about the real early days
Yeah,
of finding a room, like
yeah,
before
yeah,
COVID.
yeah,
Do you remember me going through all of those different
yeah,
rooms?
yeah.
I had one community center,
Hmm.
and oh my gosh, the room that they put us in, which was a counseling room. So other counselors will have used it, but it was at the same time a young, like people's judo club was on or something. And so one time I arrived, and when you rent rooms, you can only arrive maybe like 5 minutes
Yeah, yeah.
before because someone else would have been using it. Open the door. There was shit everywhere. Kids like shoes, their socks on the chair because they were getting ready for judo, their bags up at lunch. And I'm just like, what's going on? I'm quickly scrambling,
Yeah.
like trying to get everyone's stuff out of the door. And the judo club's still going on. And now I'm seeing my client with that kid just burst in the room. Oh, where's my?
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah,
oh, please. And I was like, oh, there's a session going on. It'll be outside. And then I
yeah,
close the door. And you know, you just think, can't believe I'm here.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Can't believe I'm here doing this. But that was, I don't know if I felt like I wanted to quit at that time, but I was seriously
Yeah.
thinking,
This is a lot of work.
what am I gonna do? Yeah, like
Yeah, yeah,
what is this? Am
yeah,
I ever gonna find a space that feels suitable?
yeah. Because that's one of the things. It's not just like the client work. That's just a part of it. It's a big part of it.
Mhm.
But that's a really interesting perspective that like stuff outside of the client work is the stuff that can be like, why am I doing this?
Yeah.
Consistency with it. Um, yeah, there's I think there's been plenty of times where just like the admin alone has made me thought, why am I doing this?
Yeah.
But the client work itself does have its moments like that as well. I know we're not going to speak about anything too specific, but when I think about the times where I've really thought, why am I doing this job, or can I do this job? I think it's when it's been like the really emotionally, either the really emotionally intense sessions, or the ones on the other scale where there's nothing that's happened, nothing emotive that's happening. And both can be exhausting on such different levels. I think for
Yeah.
me, the main one is like the emotionally intense ones where there's fear of, is this client going to be okay? What risk is involved? That's really difficult because you've got to hold that. Sometimes,
Whilst holding your own life
yeah,
too.
exactly. Yeah, yeah. You finish with a client, you think, oh, you're wondering, you're going through your safeguarding routine, you're wondering what you've done and what you need to do, and are they going to be okay? And then you've either got another job to do, or yeah, running your own life. There
Yeah.
are times where it's like people don't talk about that enough, of that sometimes you're holding a lot of risk and a lot of emotions that you're supposed to be holding. It is our job, that's part of the job,
Mhm.
but it can really add up and take its toll. It's a reason why I
Yeah.
don't do the certain work that I don't do a lot of now, like in terms of like high risk work, because I can only do it when I've got the headspace or the energy to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. And you owe that to your clients.
Yeah, absolutely.
You
Yeah.
don't want to take work. I think a lot of therapists can feel selfish or feel like, oh, we shouldn't be saying no to clients, especially if they're high risk. But you're doing that client a favor if you don't have the mental capacity to hold space for this person, let them go
Yeah.
because that will be unsafe for them
Yeah,
and for
absolutely.
you. You mentioned the more emotionally intense
Yeah.
sessions.
Hmm.
That comes up for me too. I think when I know I am being uh, called out,
Yeah.
not intentionally or drawn out, my core wounds or my inner child is being triggered by something that's going on within the therapy.
Hmm.
Uh, that has been quite difficult and can be quite difficult,
Hmm.
regardless of how much work
Hmm.
you have done. The work is still ongoing, and sometimes you will sit across from a client or clients who who bring that out of you.
Yeah.
and the relationship that you develop together feels like something else is playing out. And in those moments, or when that has happened in my career, I know that I can go to, is this for me?
Mm,
Is this
mm,
for me?
yeah.
Should I be doing this?
Yeah.
Am I fit to do this? What do I need to do? But I have an amazing supervisor, and that's why it's important that you have a good
Yeah.
supervisor with great supervision,
Mm,
that I'm able to speak really
mm,
openly and honestly about these things, so that we can understand what is really going on here.
mm,
But I think in those moments when something that is personal to me and my stuff is being drawn out in the sessions. And so when the session ends, not only am I left thinking, gosh, am I able to provide uh, the right space for this client? I'm also going away with my own personal stuff that has been unearthed.
mm,
And I'm now thinking about that stuff too. And that can be quite difficult, but I think that's something that will never stop.
yeah.
You will always get a client or clients at some point in your
Mm,
career who will bring that out of you.
yeah. Yeah.
Mm,
Yeah. You can't escape it, can you?
no.
No matter how good your initial assessments are, no matter how well matched you are with a client, your
Mm,
stuff's going to come up.
yeah.
And you have to know how to either lean into it or park it, take it to supervision, take it to therapy.
Mm.
So much internal working you've got to do in those moments.
When you're a private practitioner,
Mm.
it can feel difficult to understand, when is this a situation of this is a client that I need and this is something that I need to work through, versus I can't show up
Yeah.
adequately for this client because
Mm.
this is too triggering for me,
Yeah.
and maybe I'm not the right therapist for this client.
Mm.
That can be quite difficult to
Yeah.
determine and
Yeah.
work through, but that's why you need a good supervisor.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
ultimately, the amount involved in private practice in being a therapist, um, you can't get away from the fact there's going to be times where you consider whether or not um you want to do this anymore. I always tell people, remind myself, go back to the why. Why did I start this in the first place? Why did I choose this as a
Mm,
career? Why did I choose private practice? And if you can go back to your why and remind yourself, that's important. Um, because yeah, you'll just have plenty of time. Or speak to people, speak to your network that you've got,
yeah.
share with them those feelings of why are we doing this? Why am I doing this?
Yeah.
And then they
Yeah.
can give you a pep talk.
Yeah. And you need that
Yeah.
sometimes. But just to like play in our fantasies a little
Yeah.
bit, if you weren't doing this, what would you be doing? If you did pack it all in,
Yeah. Yeah.
what would you go and do?
It'd be something. There's two answers.
Okay.
One of them would maybe be something like creative, like maybe even acting or TV work. I think I'd actually hate it, but that's where one fantasy goes.
Why? Hold on. Why?
I don't know, because it's like it's really exposing, isn't it? But I don't know, I'm doing this sort of stuff is exposing. But yeah, it'd either be something creative and fun, or I think I'd just want to sell my soul to the devil and just find the highest paying job. I think would I just train and get into high level banking, or I don't know, whatever it would be. Um, I would just, yeah, I'd do anything, anything to get 100K plus. um,
Honesty.
you can earn a good wage. I want to be honest about that. You can earn a
Yeah.
good and above average wage, but it's still nothing that's gonna, be having you walk down throwing an American Express at everything.
Yeah. You're
Um,
not gonna have a yacht,
yeah,
you
exactly.
know.
Yeah, and I think in another world, maybe I would just do whatever I could to get to that point, and then become the person that I would hate to be. But it's a good laugh every now and then to think about it.
I love that. Shadow Tom is in the building.
Yeah, yeah, and he's rich.
Yeah.
What about
Yeah.
your
I'm I'm with the creativity too.
yeah,
It'd have to be something creative. I've said this before. I think I would try my luck at musical theatre.
yeah,
I
yeah,
would
which I can see.
enroll in a musical theatre
Mm,
course and I would try my hardest to make that work. But again, a
mm,
very unreliable career. It's not going to give any kind of stability. That's a career that fluctuates. But I would do that, or I really love afternoon teas. And I host like an annual afternoon tea
yeah,
every year for my friends.
yeah,
And I would do something like that, like a
yeah, yeah.
catering business specific
Mm,
to, like, maybe not grazing tables because that's a little bit overdone now, but
mm,
something like,
yeah,
because I love aesthetically pleasing
Mm.
like food tables.
Yeah,
And so I would maybe do something like that. It'd be something creative where I could color out of the lines and I don't have to follow any rules. You
yeah,
could be creative in this industry,
yeah,
but
absolutely.
there are rules that you have to follow,
Yeah,
you know? So I'm someone who's quite spontaneous, and so I don't get to be as lawless. Like as I want, as the
yeah,
enemy wants within this job. So
yeah,
I do something where I can just be like, I'll do whatever I want,
yeah. I can
do
really
it.
see you doing that as well, like being like the best host there is and just welcoming people in and like having your own place. Because I can imagine everything, would be the way it needs to be for people to get the best experience. That probably comes
The
into your client work anyway.
perfectionist wound.
Yeah, yeah. But I
Yeah.
suppose that would be more, maybe you could easilier um get close to that, because obviously in therapy that's just impossible, but actually you would be able to do a if it's even possible, almost
Don't
perfect.
encourage me, you
Just
know.
no,
Don't encourage me.
if things don't work out, it's a good job option.